And now, once again, even though it was absolutely clear and obvious, Cenk Uygur is wrong as usual. Now we know that the FBI was looking into people who had not committed any violence, that there was no real criminal predicate. No, they were looking into people who were simply supporters of Donald Trump. Oh, that's fucking weird. Dude, I swear. That's bait. Anyway. Oh my God. So yeah. So now we've got it. Now it's been declassified. Your girl Tulsi Gabbard, she's the one who declassified it, y'all. And there's also, and I've got to look it up again. What was it? The story about the government was actually running sweeps on credit card information to find out if, who was buying Bibles and then tracking them. If I remember, that was like I think the Department of Defense was doing that to track civilian purchases, if I remember correctly. So this is just, you're losers. You actually have to have the secret police help you. You cheered on Big Pharma, and now that you're like these kind of weird slaves to Big Pharma, you were all so absolutely daft about world events that now in just one sweeping week, Donald Trump has totally changed the course of all politics for the next generation. Describing the Democratic Party as a bunch of ineffective losers is an insult to ineffective losers. I mean, like, ineffective losers would be like, whoa. You see, now, at least it doesn't get worse when I'm there. And that's the beauty of how this has gone, is that now one can look and say, oh, no, definitely the Democrats, everything they touch, they somehow make worse. Interesting story that pops up about Yemen. So Trump made a deal with Yemen and said, our boats are off limits. That's it. And we, America, won't bomb you. Now, this is the thing is, this is going to leave open Israel doing that. I mean, like, remember, that's when Yemen was like, we don't want any more fighting. Trump was like, yeah. They got in touch with us. They said they don't want any more fighting. That's what the deal. It was actually a deal made. And then what did Trump do? He totally concealed that he was probably perfectly aware that Israel was about to hit Sana'a Airport. So, and so the size of the explosions you saw in that wasn't the munitions explosions. That was all of the fuel that they had blown up. That's why that was so fiery. And there was so much fire, is because they had hit what apparently are huge amounts of fuel. Yeah. So, just in one shot. And then this trip to Saudi. That once again, everybody's seeing that, the right seems to understand the Islamic world better. Obama can't go to the Ummah. Nobody in the Ummah will have him and host him for some talks about something. They don't look to him as some type of, person who's, we worked together so well back when you were president. No, Obama never shows up to shit because nobody wants to talk to him anymore. And then you see this, and it's like, that is called hella respect for the executive, what you're seeing right there. And that's, yeah. So Democrats, you're really seeing in real time the wilting of your party, the wilting of your power. I really want people to get this, especially if you're one of these Democrats you live in like Oregon, you're in one of these blue enclaves up here and stuff. You should know, and you really should know this. Without you, this could not have happened. Your strange activist issues and stuff, where you'll have this weird fixation on the violent mayhem causers, and then like this weird fixation on, well, no, but it doesn't matter any of this, like people need to make money, that you really be, and because of that, all you got to do is know their interests and stuff. I know. Feminism, no. All of your ideology kind of arguments have totally and completely wilted. Every big falutin idea you had, you now see is actually kind of meaningless and just sort of used so that people, like, yeah, it's just kind of used for the rubes. It's for the rubes. Now you're seeing what really matters are actual interests and deals. And that's money and power. And you guys don't deal with that well. At a personal level, you don't deal with that well. And that's it. Carville really, really sees it in a way that's clear, that there's no other part of punditry that is sort of entertaining what Carville has told you and what's become very clear of the intense lack of popularity that your party is suffering from. And that you guys just talk yourselves up. And that what more and more is also getting really bad is how it turns out everything was, you would sort of found ways of hiring your friends to expand the government, or got your friends into private corporations so that they could get in there and then do things that don't make sense in the market. This is most clear in entertainment, but the thing is that people aren't getting, no, this has to have been in other fields, or else you would have had no reason for layoffs. The people would have been they would have been too valuable. Because of the denial of demographic demise for so long, now you have no rational explanation for why the economy is shrinking planet-wide. You can't explain this in a rational way to anybody. You just have to say Donald Trump has somehow, within 100 days, managed to totally tank what was a raging and amazing economy. And I mean, this requires a severe lack of understanding of how market economics works, which makes sense because, I mean, in blue enclaves, it's very poor education. It's very, very, the education is just not good anymore. People come out thinking things, but not being able to in any way evaluate information to then prove what they're thinking. That's a key thing. They can't prove what they're thinking. They can't even begin to walk through it logically so that it makes sense, that their statements make sense. This is now all the time what happens when people watch liberals at colleges try to hold up some argument, especially when it comes to your most precious arguments, things like transgenderism and gender sexual theorizing and stuff like that. You guys can't walk through it logically. It always comes down to, you should simply say yes because only Nazis would disagree with me. And that's just simply not an argument. That's totally juvenile. Bad girlfriend. soft-headed mom kind of argument. Because I say so, and you're a bad child if you don't agree with me. And because we could identify it in this way, and identify like, no, really, that's where you hear this type of argumentation method and style come from. That's what it is. Because we have pattern recognition. We could spot this, and then we convince others. And that's the thing, they're convinced. This isn't where we coerced people into thinking a certain way. That's the beauty of it. And with this, I wanted to once again point out, with the idea of being convinced, you guys don't have a competitor to Thomas Sowell. Thomas Sowell, you won't even say his name. In case I guess he appears like this afro just morphs into existence, what the fuck is that? Holy shit, this school has crazy ass music playing out of it. Super weird. Oh god, ABBA. Of course it's ABBA. Of course it's ABBA. That's just great. That's hilarious. So the irony is not lost. Oh yeah, so now, what was it? Axios. Oh yeah, actually not last thing there. Axios had a problem with something. Axios is like, how dare you say that Oregon is like at this ranking of states, blah, 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 blah. Oh, here we go. Look, feed Gaza. Feed them. Feed them to what? Feed them to who? Are they tasty? Anyway. So, whoa, check it out. Yeah. The powerful power of the Honorable Crow. Anyway. So, the thing that I was thinking about was Axios was like, oh, blah, 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 Oregon's so great, da, da, da. And then at the end it was like, then they said the environment, and we're at this ranking, and that makes me have to look askance at all of these other things that are super easy to measure, such as how bad education here is, or how bad it's gotten since... It's become just sort of this place for liberal women to get a jobs program for Democratic voting ladies and Democratic voting men. And so now the thing it comes down to this is Portland has had to shutter REI, and now its big outdoor places. So there's no REI within Portland. So the end of Axios's article, he's like, well, I think I'm gonna do this, and, have a matcha and take a hike. Tee hee, such a gay thing to say at the end of the argument, ta ta, and what was it? Yeah. Anyway, and so. They post this 2 days later. Article drops. One of their, I guess it's High Adventure or Endless Adventure or something. One of the, I guess they're the homegrown, successful, large outdoor equipment places that is kind of like a Portland like place. Everybody knows it because they're out of business. All 5 stores. Shutting everything down, having a fire sale. Shutting down and having a fire sale. Most likely they finally just got ripped off too many times because of the equipment that they have is outdoor equipment. And there's too many people here who are homeless, and they are allowed to steal. And so this was something that early this morning I was thinking about. There's going to one day be a way that property law is studied because of California and Oregon. Absolutely, I know this. that there's going to be a way that property rights lawyers, people who are focused on property rights, are going to study this period of time, and they're going to get like, okay, so this is how you deal with violations of property rights by politicians, by coming up with legislation to just let people do whatever the fuck they like to your property. It's going to be like, this is how you get them. I really mean this. Well, it's going to be understood. It's like, the lawfare and studying lawfare. It's going to be a part of this is how you get them back for allowing people to steal from you. And really there's really some major corporations that are heavily based out of the Portland area, out of Washington and stuff, that a lot of you're going to just have to put some balls in vices. I mean, that's just the only way you're going to get these people to not allow robbery of your businesses. You're going to have to put people's balls in a vice, and you're going to have to say your political career is over forever, or you're going to change this legislation. We're going to put your balls in a vice, and we're going to ruin you. That's the only way it's going to work. That's the only way this is going to turn around. Is putting the squeeze on Democratic legislatures and just making sure they understand they're never going to get a dime ever from anybody in your conglomerate at all, and possibly sued for allowing your businesses to be ruined. It should be done, and it could be.